Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Ask the Experts for Digital Breakout 147, Power Modern Meeting Experiences Across the Hybrid Workplace using Microsoft Teams devices. I'm joined today by a panel of experts across our Microsoft Teams engineering team, and we would love to get started answering your questions. There's a couple of things that we're going to run through first, just so you know how it all works. So on the right-hand side, you have a chat pane. You can go ahead and publish your questions there, and someone will respond to them as quickly as they can. And then as we see them come through, we'll decide to elevate some of them and talk to you about them live. There are a couple more things just that I want to go over in terms of the open question and answer. There we go. So those are all the instructions again. And be sure you can always upvote your favorites using that like button too. And then just one more slide there. Perfect. And friendly reminder that the session is recorded. We're asking you not to record the session yourself, but we'll be recording it. And then help the moderators, don't spam the chat, but go ahead and start asking your questions. And here's the Microsoft Code of Conduct too, so if you want to review that. Okay, so I know that in our session there was quite a bit of chatter and questions around our phones. So I wanted to first pass it off to Karuthika to talk a little bit about the announcements we have in phones and the SIP gateway.
Thanks, Kendra. I'm Kritika Ponusamy, and I'm the product manager for phones, Teams phones specifically at Microsoft. We are working with partners to bring solutions to make sure that your existing phones will interop with Teams. In regards to that, as long as you have a Skype for Business certified phone, which would be one of the Yealink T4X series or an Audio Codes 440 or Poly VVX phones, we will be able to extend the lifetime of these phones beyond 2023. If you have a native Teams phones, great, they will work just fine. There are going to be a select few models of phones that are from Yealink, Poly, Audio Codes, Cisco, and others that will be able to work with our SIP devices gateway as soon as we launch them. We are currently working through the models that we can support, and we are working through getting details about these features. We will publish details in the coming months, but once the devices gateway is available, a larger host of devices will be able to interop with the Teams service.
Fantastic. Thank you, Karuthika. Okay, so we also shared that we're simplifying our Microsoft Teams rooms for or devices across shared spaces portfolio. So we're going to be bringing what we announced earlier in the year as collaboration bars into Microsoft Teams rooms. I would love if Greg could talk a little bit about that decision and the future of the two OSs.
Great, thanks, Kendra. I'm Greg Barabal. I lead our program management team for shared devices within the Teams product group. And yeah, like Kendra said, we are unifying our kind of go-to-market branding around the collaboration bar, Android-powered systems, and the Microsoft Teams Room Windows-powered systems, and effectively calling them all Microsoft Teams Rooms. So they're one big family now. That family will include, of course, we'll continue to include the Windows and Android devices, and over time, our goal is to deeply align those feature sets so that your choice really becomes a platform choice. There'll be places where Windows may lead, and then Android may lead in others, but over time, a unification of those, and really, with many of our solutions, giving customers choice of peripherals, devices, and now with platform as well.
All right. Let's see. Let's talk a little bit about our Teams displays. So on the call, we have Arash. Arash, can you talk to us a little bit about Microsoft Teams displays and when we're ready for, when we'll see that GA?
Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Rash Ganai-Sichani, a lead product manager for Teams Devices team. That's a great question. So we announced Teams Display in July this year, and we are very excited to announce that Teams Display is coming to general availability within the coming weeks. We are at the last stages of releasing the software and the hardware to the market, so we are very excited about that. The Teams Display will bring some new experiences, including ability to use Intelligent Assistant and Cortana, and also use a intelligent feed in the front of the device to make sure everybody is staying on top of their work. And we are excited to have it available before end of the year.
Great, thank you, Arash. So we have a question around the offerings, Microsoft Teams Rooms Standard and Microsoft Teams Rooms Premium. So these are the offerings that deliver the meeting experiences and management for our shared spaces, both Microsoft Teams Rooms and Surface Hub. So the Microsoft Teams Rooms Standard offering enables the inclusive and collaborative meeting room experiences across those devices, and gives you all of the services that you're going to need to make those experiences come to life. Microsoft Teams Rooms Premium builds on top of the standard experience, so it also provides you with all of those necessary services. On top of that, it provides you with our Microsoft Teams Rooms Managed Services. That's where you can shift the operational responsibility of managing those devices to Microsoft. So you have that peace of mind and you can shift your IT focus elsewhere. Over time, that offering will expand to include additional features. We don't have anything more to share about that at this time, but definitely keep an eye out. All right, so we have a question about capacity. So we did share a couple of announcements today where we're talking about room capacity notifications and how those can appear across different devices like our Microsoft Teams Rooms through the Center of Room console or our Microsoft Teams panels. This is a really exciting experience that we're bringing to Rooms, and with this connected ecosystem of devices, you really have this great end-to-end experience. So let's talk a little bit about that. Greg, can you talk a little bit about how that works and maybe what types of cameras people can expect there?
Yeah, for sure. So like Kendra said, the capacity notifications and capacity information on the hallway panels, the new Teams panel, is based on a sensor in the room. So a camera sensor in the room that's actually able to count, not identify, just count the people that it's seeing in real time and report that to the room system host. We're processing that, basically comparing it to the published room capacity information that's in the directory. So that you would see an outlook for any given room's capacity. Our expectation would be that companies would adjust that capacity now to their new safe guidance. So what they feel is the appropriate socially distanced room capacity. And when we count more people in the room than capacity should allow, we'll show a little warning on the front of room display that the room is now over capacity and somebody should probably leave. We'll also send that same information to the Teams panel in the hallway to indicate when a room is at capacity, really to try to prevent more people from coming in. So the full set of cameras that can support this, we will be announcing very soon as we release the feature. But the processing basically is done within the camera itself and is data that's just sent to the MTR. We don't do this in the software side. So look for that guidance and the specific camera list as the feature goes live later this year.
All right, I've got another one for you, Greg. Can you talk a little bit about direct guest join on Microsoft Teams Rooms on Windows?
Yeah, for sure. So direct guest join is a capability that allows a room system, which is a native Teams device. So it runs Teams natively, and it's the perfect device for joining a Teams meeting. But sometimes you have those occasional meetings on a non-team service. So we worked with, so far, Cisco and Zoom to build support for WebEx and Zoom meetings on the room systems. So you can now send an invitation to a Microsoft Teams room for a Zoom meeting, for a WebEx meeting, and with one touch on the console, be able to join and get a full front of room experience for that meeting. The work that we've done with those partners also allows their devices to join into Teams meetings. You can kind of think of it as a new way to do interop between native in-room devices and meeting services. So far, we're very excited to have Cisco in market. Zoom's coming up really soon, and keep your eye out for more that we'll work with over time.
All right, just looking through the chat here. Thanks for that, Greg. We have a question here about CVI. Nancy, could you talk a little bit about what CVI is and highlight some of our CVI partners?
Hi, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Nancy Forero, and I am a PM in the Microsoft Teams engineering team. Cisco CVI was recently certified and became one of the 4 partners that we have that provides our cloud video interop solution. CVI, for those that are listening, it is a platform, a solution to connect non-native Teams devices to Microsoft Teams meetings. So you can benefit from joining Teams meeting from these non-native devices with partial capability. What else can I tell you? Most of the solutions are very similar, but each of the partners the other 3 partners are BlueJeans, Pexip, and Poly, and each of them present their own capabilities that we enable from our side, but they decide how to present it to the customers, how to present a particular display, how to enable live events or not, etc. So it is a solution that we certify. Each of the partners are responsible to make sure that the experience is exactly what the customers want.
Thank you, Nancy. All right, the next question is for Pavel. So we talked a little bit earlier about, or Greg answered, what our plans are across the Android OS. I would love for you to talk to some of the features that we're announcing at Ignite and maybe some of your personal favorite features that are coming to Microsoft Teams rooms on Android, formerly known as Collaboration Bar.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kendra. Hi, my name is Pavel Yurovich. I'm a product manager on Microsoft Teams rooms on Android. And yes, we're really excited about the expansion and kind of conversion of collaboration bars to Microsoft Teams rooms on Android. There are plenty of features that are coming to our Microsoft Teams rooms. Particularly, we're announcing the dual screen support, and my favorite is support for Touch Console experience for Microsoft Teams rooms on Android. Our overall goal is to really make experience across all Microsoft Teams rooms very close and very familiar and really intuitive to our users. So over the next quarters, and right now we're working hard to help users when they go into a room that has Microsoft Teams rooms on Android or Windows, it's a familiar experience, they know how to join, and they're able to quickly navigate their meetings. My personal favorite are room remote feature right now is the ability to control your Microsoft Teams rooms device from your mobile phone. Not only does it help you not kind of touch some of the shared surfaces in a room, but also gives you control of the room from your personal mobile device that's in your pocket.
Awesome. Thank you, Pavel. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of our touchless experiences. So Pavel talked already about Room Remote. You may have seen that in Nicole Herskowitz's keynote this morning. where you can use your personal device to control your in-room devices, which is super exciting. Another one that we have that's available today is Proximity Join. Greg, can you talk to us a little bit about Proximity Join?
Yeah, so Proximity Join actually was a feature we launched about a little over a year ago, that allows people to come into a room with a personal device, any device, a laptop, a phone. We'll actually be adding Mac to this family as well, and allows a person to discover a nearby room device and join their meeting through the room. So they're basically transferring their call into the room and taking advantage of the great audio and video equipment that's in that room. That was the first step in proximity, and Pavel described the second step, where we'll introduce Room Remote, also for people that are nearby. This year we'll also add casting capability. So when I come into that room, even without a meeting, with nothing on the calendar, I just want to share my screen with some colleagues, I can click a button in any Teams client, very predictable, familiar experience, cast my screen up to the large front of room display, and have a collaborative meeting. Because it's a meeting, if I want to add people to that, I can invite others, I can record it, I can transcribe it. All the great things that we do within a normal meeting, you can do within a casting session. So our goal is really to just keep investing in this proximity technology and bring more and more capabilities that are built on that. And a lot of those you'll see later this year.
Fantastic. Thank you, Greg. You know, I'm looking at that Surface Hub in the background there, and I see this question: can we use Surface Hubs in personal mode, say in a CEO's office or at home, instead of a shared device? Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So yes, my device is still running in hub mode. It's a shared device, but many people can re-image that device as a Windows 10 professional or enterprise device. So now it can be personal. I can use a fingerprint sensor to sign in, and I've got all of my familiar Windows 10 applications available to me, including the full Teams experience. So now I can join my meetings as me from that big, beautiful device I'm standing in front of. I get my chat, all of my channels, and but that is my device. So that's a choice enterprises can make based on where the device is deployed and how they choose to use it. But it's a great new option that we're announcing and making available this week.
Thank you. Now I know that there's also a personal mode that we announced today at Ignite for the Microsoft Teams rooms on Android experience as well. So more bringing some of those experiences into the home or personal office and tweaking that experience so that it's really designed for that type of use case. Pavel, can you talk to us a little bit about personal mode?
Yeah, absolutely. As we worked on the Teams rooms on Android, we realized that personal use case is very much prevalent right now in this COVID time. And as we talked to the customers, we realized that some improvements would really make it a great experience for personal use case. Particularly, we're bringing more extensive calendaring support where users will be able to see upcoming meetings and join them rather than seeing only one current meeting. We're also working on supporting recording for personal mode, whiteboarding, initiating whiteboarding. Whiteboarding overall is supported, and also proximity join from your personal account as well.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, we're getting a lot of questions about intelligent speakers. Arash, can you talk to us a little bit about intelligent speakers?
Yes, thank you. So a couple of questions that I got, interesting questions. Number one is, how does this kind of work? Do I need to register my voice for every meeting or every conference room? And the answer is no. You basically have to enroll your voice one time, and then that will work across all the rooms and across the entire enterprise. And the kind of the enrollment experience is very simplified. Less than 1 minute it will take for you to enroll your voice. And as a result, if you walk into any conference rooms with the intelligent speaker. When you speak in a meeting, we'll recognize who you are and we add your name to the transcription to make transcription super crisp and clear for everybody who is attending the meeting, during the meeting and after the meeting. There's also some questions about how does the intelligent speaker work with my existing audio system? Do I have to replace my audio system? So intelligent speakers, they use the new hardware and software technology. So what we expect is that because this is a new technology, it will be the primary hardware for the room. So if there's an existing hardware in there, it should be replaced with the intelligent speaker to take advantage of the benefits that the device is providing. I think these are the two major questions that I've seen on the live event.
Thank you. All right, let's see what else we have here. There was a question, I think, for Pavel again on the experience on the Touch Console for Microsoft Teams Rooms on Android. Will it be similar to the Touch Console experience on Microsoft Teams Rooms on Windows? Will it have the same look and feel?
Thank you. Absolutely. You know, overall, we're trying to align on feature set across both MTR on Windows and Android, and Touch Console is no exception. We are making it look and feel almost exactly like the Touch Console you're used to on Microsoft Teams Rooms on Windows. You'll be able to join meetings, see upcoming meetings, and place calls and start ad hoc meetings there as well. The UI will be very similar and very intuitive, and people generally won't need to learn anything new across going from a meeting room that has a Windows Microsoft Teams room or Android Teams room device. So generally, our goal is to really make it as easy, as seamless to our end users as possible.
Great, thank you, Pavel. All right, there's a lot of questions around Whiteboard. We have questions for, let's see, when will the similar experiences with Whiteboard and Teams that Windows 10 has? Are there plans to expand the capabilities of Whiteboard across devices? Greg, do you have the answer to that one?
I do have the answer to that one. So the Whiteboard experience that's built into Teams, that, you know, if somebody were to start a Whiteboard session, would pop out into the Teams experience as part of the share tray or share experience, will be natively rendered on all of our devices. The Surface Hub has a special version of that where it actually brings up the native Windows experience as a separate pane, so you can resize things and move them around. But all of our other devices, they pop up right within that Teams experience and allows for a fully interactive whiteboarding session, collaboration session. MTRs, or Microsoft Teams Rooms, typically are deployed with a non-touch front of room display, but we do support touch. So if you were to install a touch-capable front of room panel of any size, you can connect that to the Teams Room compute box and get full whiteboarding capabilities in any Teams room. So that's supported today, and the actual whiteboard functionality, we're making so many investments in right now, and bringing all of that rich functionality from the Windows experience built into that native Teams experience.
Great, thank you. All right, we have a question around Teams admin centers and receiving updates for devices through the Teams admin center. Kyle, I know you're on the line. Can you talk to us a little bit about the Teams admin experience or admin center experience and how to get updates through that?
Sure, I'm Kyle Speets. I'm a program manager for Microsoft Teams devices, and I lead our device management initiatives across our devices. So currently through Teams Admin Center, you can manage updates for the Android devices, including Microsoft Teams Rooms for Android, or IP phones, and Teams displays. And we are bringing additional functionality for the Android devices in the future. And we're also investigating ways to provide updates for Teams Rooms for Windows through that interface as well. We don't have the capability yet, but that is something that's on our plans.
Great, thank you. All right, I've got a question for Greg, and it's a two-parter. So will Microsoft Teams Rooms add an option to disable in-room sharing even when a device is plugged into the HDMI ingest? That's part number one. Part number two is, does the people gallery span dual displays when no content is present? I'm wondering if we can also talk about maybe the idea for what these types of future layouts could look like.
Yeah, for sure. Good. That's a good question. Okay, so for part one, we know we have customers that are using always connected HDMI ingest sources, things like Miracast dongles or AirPlay devices and other types. And what ends up happening is they are displayed full time on the front of room, and when you start a meeting, they can be automatically shared. There's an option for that, but they can be automatically shared. We are adding a feature now. In fact, part of it is available today, part of it will be available later this month, that allows for you to turn off auto sharing of devices like that. So if you did have a permanently connected device, you can now disable that showing on the front of room, and even when it's there, you can have the gallery be present full screen and not see the sort of placeholder side if that's not being used. So that's part one. Yes, we are addressing that that problem. Part two, we are in a release that's planned for this month, introducing new front of room capabilities for Microsoft Teams Rooms. And one big part of that is to allow us to take all of the great desktop gallery work and content sharing experience and put that on the front of room. So initially that will highlight the 3x3 gallery. We will also be adding together mode support and the full large gallery support. But to the question of, can I split the gallery over both screens if there's no content being shared? That is in the plans. I don't have a specific date to make that available, but we will be introducing that capability.
Okay, there's a question about when the next session, the OD261 session, that's Teams Devices for Shared Spaces, will be made available. So that is on demand, so you should be able to view that now. Highly recommend that you go and check that out. There's also some other device sessions that we have on personal devices, so would absolutely make sure you can check that one out as well. And then we have the Teams Management Essentials, which is going to be talking about the Teams Admin Center, and then the new Teams or Microsoft Teams Rooms Managed Services piece that's part of Microsoft Teams Rooms Premium. So definitely go check those out as well. And I think that takes us to the end of our Ask the Experts. Thank you all so much for joining our session and for asking such great questions. We hope you found this useful and helpful to you, and have a great rest of your Ignite.